Dario. Hi, I wonder if anybody else is around. That maybe we could talk to educate a little bit about tax time. uh, it is tax time. Yeah. Well, until somebody else comes on, is something I could help you with personally before I get into the subject of the day, because maybe we'll wait till other people log on first. What are you after, Dario? What are you trying to do in life? You know, how can I help you have more fun? What do you want to do that you think is important? You know, what's important to you in life? You know, what are the things that you would like to do with your life that you think is important? Because maybe I can help you with that. Because I mean, you know, everything you're going to do is going to be a pain. So maybe that will be, just more important for you to live along. I mean, to find out about. Oh, I didn't put the link in there, did I? Well, here's the link to the article. Maybe you're in the middle of lunch, huh, Dario? That's cool. Let's see if anybody else is around. Because there's lots going on in the news. That's why I'm so old school guy. I read newspapers because I cut and paste it on. I lose it so much in online. So it's easy to take something, read it. Oh my God, I think people should know about this. This is interesting. This is how you make money out of this. So that's what I do a lot of, and I still clip and paste. And so here's the article that I put the link in that here. Can you see this? Blindsided by your 2018 taxes. Here are some of the answers to your 2019 return. So what happens is, we had the big tax cut, okay? So we had a big tax cut that passed, and it cost like $2 trillion, okay? And that's another thing. See, now here's another article about that. The deficit ballooned because of the tax cut. So we're now further in debt than ever before, and that's because we didn't have enough sales. We're a business, and we cut the sales and still kept spending money. That's a stupid way to run a business. I thought the people in charge of this were business experts. Well, when do you cut your sales and increase your expenses? I guess if you're not in business, if you're the government, and that's crazy. Well, now I think this guy's running over, a budget that. A deficit is so much bigger than Obama. I mean, it's like $300 billion just in the last 4 months. So that means it's going to be $1 trillion almost by the end of the year. It grew 77% in the first 4 months of this year. 77% this budget grew. And why is because tax revenue shrank. Tax revenue, but it only shrank. Not for you and me, but for the rich people. Listen to this. The reduction is like 25%. Corporate taxes were cut by 25%. So us as a business, being the government as a business, takes an income, spends it, and hopes to stay profitable, Oh, well, that fell 25%. So the amount of money we're getting from revenue and tax money from corporations fell by 25%, okay? And wow, because they cut the rate from 35%, that's how much they had to pay in taxes, down to 21%. So that was, and increased the spending. So if you're cutting back on sales and increasing spending, that is really difficult. So they say now we're going to be 900 billion. So it's like $1 trillion in debt. Okay, so now we know that rich people, because about trillion of that tax cut, which was about $1.5 trillion. Oh, hi, Tracy. About $1.5 trillion of that tax cut went to rich people, okay? And so what about the average person? How did they make out in the tax cut, okay? Well, now most of it. So who got screwed, we know already, is the government itself, is going back in debt. And who gets paid, who takes advantage of programs when we get in debt and have to borrow money? Who do you think? Rich people, right? Because they have money to lend. So the government borrows money to pay the operations of the government, and they shrink their income by giving tax breaks to the rich so they can borrow more money from the rich to be in debt. Crazy. Well, anyway, apart from that, here's this article I think you should know about. Blindsided by your 2018 taxes. Here are some answers to your 2019 questions. So you're going to fill out tax forms. Okay, there's a good, she does good consumer research. Okay, I think her column is syndicated. She's out of the Post. I've been reading her for years and years. Her name is Michelle Singletary, Singletary. Okay, let me read you some of this because it's important. Okay, she says, some taxpayers are feeling a little battle weary after filing their 2018 return. I am too. Okay, people are shell-shocked. Either they got less of a refund than they expected, or they've been hit with a surprise tax bill because they didn't adjust their withholdings to account for the changes in the tax code. So that's what's going to happen. So many people are going to start filling out their taxes within the next 30 days or something that it's due, and realize, they usually get, $2,000 back, but no, they're only getting $1,500 back. Well, that's because of the tax cut. Now, how does a tax cut? So many people are going to realize that a tax cut doesn't mean for them. That's what it. Okay. So that's what's going on. Others are upset that they discovered their favorite tax break is no longer available. See, a lot of tax breaks were taken out of this. Now, here's some things that you should be concerned about, particularly if you're doing business out of your home and things like this. Okay, here's a question and answer she has in here. Is it true that I will be paying less taxes and getting a bigger refund this year? Because that's what they told us in the tax cuts. Okay, the answer is lower overall taxes don't always translate into a bigger refund at tax time, says the CPA. The IRS issued new withholding tables in 2018, and many of the tax savings they have paid throughout the year. So if your refund is not what you're expecting, you look at your pay stubs. You may have gotten little bitsies, over the year instead. Okay, that's a possibility. Okay, here's another question. Can I still deduct business meals and entertainment expenses? See, that's how the rich people live. They write off everything, with their private jets, business meals, and everything. Okay, entertainment expenses are non-deductible. Okay, listen to this. And calling them marketing expenses won't help, Weston says. That's an account. With some recent guidance from the IRS in October, most normal businesses' meals will still be 50% deductible. Okay, that's what you could deduct when you have a business meal. So you go out with somebody and you're hoping they become a client or something, you could really deduct 50% of that meal. You can't deduct the whole thing, okay? And how do you deduct that? I would assume, and I'll show you free ways to get all the free tax help you need, is by doing what's called a Schedule C. If you have an unincorporated business, you do a Schedule C, and that's where you deduct everything, your rent and all this kind of stuff. Okay, and that's very easy to do. It's like a checkbook. That's all. The money comes in here, it goes out there, what's left? And that's easy for all of us to understand. Okay, did home office deduction go away? The deduction there's the answer, the deduction for the business use of a home is still available. However, the tax cuts eliminate employee business expenses on a Schedule A. This means that self-employed people will still be eligible, but employee wages who work from home will no longer get a deduction for this or any other out-of-pocket expenses, such as mileage, professional fees, dues, and uniforms. Okay, what does this mean? Means that what you used to do before is if you had a job and you were doing things for your job, but your boss wasn't paying for that, then you were able to deduct it, like using part of your house or buying magazines or that you needed for work and all this kind of stuff, traveling, anything like that. Okay, that has gone away if you're an employee. Okay, that's a W-2. If you're a business at home, a home business, any kind, you're creating your own money, even as a gig economy, a freelancer, anything. No, that's still there. You write off the amount of rent in your apartment that you devote to work, the amount of your car and that you devote to work, the amount of your country club that you use to try to pick up clients and things like that. So that's all deductible. Okay, here's another one. Can someone who is a wage employee but who also has a side gig deduct work-related expenses? Okay, so that means you have a side gig, extra money. Yes, wage employees can deduct allowable expenses attributed directly to their side gig. So that means if you have a wage and you try to write off your rent or mortgage part of it because you used part of your house for your business where you get your wages from, you can't do that. But if you're getting a wage and a W-2, but you have a little thing on the side where you're fixing people's bathtubs or something like that and making money, yes, then you could use the amount that it costs in your home to have your home for that business. So that's where okay. So that's still available. So you can write. That's why I say, to me, having your own job or own business of some kind is the best tax break in the world. This is how the rich people live. This is how there's no, as I always say, there's no such thing as a private jet. Nobody be stupid enough to pay for a jet with after-tax money. They buy it with pre-tax money. Then they pay less taxes because they got a jet now. Okay, is the interest I pay on my primary mortgage still deductible? Yes! Okay, however, the tax benefit will depend on the size of your mortgage and whether you itemize deduction. So that's going to change. The limit on mortgage interest deduction has been reduced to the interest on the maximum of $750,000 of new acquisition debt. So if your mortgage is more than $750,000, then you can't deduct it all. You can only deduct up to $750,000. So I think that includes a lot of us, right? So, however, acquisition debt taken out before December 2017 is grandfathered. So if you bought, $1 million house last year, then it's okay. Yeah, or in 2017, before December 2000. So you had to do it in 2017, and you could still deduct it, but not 2018, okay? Okay, here's the question from a reader about the change in the mortgage interest deduction. 4 years ago, we took a cash out refinance loan on our principal home to build a vacation cabin, okay? Is it true that we cannot deduct this mortgage interest anymore? Okay, here's the answer. The interest on new or existing home equity loans is not deductible unless the money is used to buy, build, or improve the home that secures the loan. So in other words, you could only get a, what do you call the loan, a refinance from your house, oh, there's a name for it. It's very popular. I'm just so old, I forget stuff. So, from your mortgage, get a loan on your house. You can only use that money to fix up the house. Then you could deduct the interest that you pay on it. If you use that money to buy another house or use that money to take a vacation or anything, no, you can't deduct the interest on that. So that's what that sounds like. Since I no longer itemize deduction, here's the question. Since I no longer itemize my deductions, is it true I receive no tax benefit for my charitable giving? Yeah, I give a bunch to the local community college here. In general, taxpayers who no longer itemize deductions will not receive a tax benefit for their charitable gifts. However, bunching your charitable contributions into 1 year rather than contributing on an annual basis may put you over the new standard deduction hurdle and help you receive more significant tax benefit for your charitable giving. How do you like that? Well, that makes sense to me. So like if you're, let's say you're giving $5,000 a month to charity. Well, you may not be able to write that off as a tax deduction anymore. Okay, so what you do is every 3 years you give $15,000, and so you're up over some hurdle and you're able to write it off. So that's what it says. I don't know the figures, what figures are right to use there, but that's just an example. Let's see. Okay, given the magnitude of the changes, this will continue to be a challenging tax season for a lot of folks. One thing for sure, 2019 is not the year to procrastinate in preparing your return. You could be in for a surprise. Right. So, okay. Now, how to get free tax help? I have that. Club members just email. In the discussion, just say, hey, I need free tax help. I'll send you a report on how to get free tax help, no matter where you are. Yeah. Now, first of all, most of the places are that are free, that will do the whole thing for you, usually have an income limit up to $60,000. But even if you make over $60,000, there's a lot of ways to get it done for free. If you're a business and worried about how to get that tax, any of the tax thing, you could go to SBDC. So America's, AMERICAS, and then SBDC, that's 2 S's there in the row, .org. Go there and you'll find your local one. There's like 2,000 of these people, offices around the country. Find them. And actually, they helped a real good friend of mine even get on debt problems and everything. And they're in my new book that I have about getting out of debt, no matter if it's your business or student loan debt or IRS debt, any kind of debt. And I show you about that. And members who want a free copy of that book, just ask me. Just ask me. That's all. Ask Lesko. I had a very famous ad on radio. It played on ESPN radio a lot. And it was, I had the 800 number, Ask Lesko. Back when before you bought everything online, you used to call 800 numbers. So I had 800 Uncle Sam, 800 Ask Lesko. Because people driving around the car and the hard to remember numbers call 1-679-255, and in Tuscaloosa call one. People can't remember that kind of stuff. So I do that. And also, you see this suit behind me? That's going to be free. That's the next suit I'm giving out free. The last winner was down in Florida. I surprised the hell out of him when I emailed him and said he won a suit. Okay, this you have until March 15th, the Eyes of March. And you go to www.leskostore.com. for free suit. Okay, so I'm only giving one away on March MARCH 15th. Okay, by then, everybody who signs up for a free download about how to research the internet just for free stuff. I mean, it's my class, my beginning class of how to research Google and not pay for the stuff you get. So if you download that, then your name goes in the hat to get be in the raffle for a free suit. Give one away free. And really, I got so many of these things. I've been wearing them for 20 years, I guess, or something like that. And I'm moving down into 2 one-bedroom apartments. So I got to shrink my closet. I don't know if you see that Vice profile on YouTube. They did a Vice profile on me, and they went up and videotaped my closet and all that kind of, and actually somebody did a GIF of me in all the suits because I put on a whole bunch of suits, and they made a GIF out of it, which is fun. If you go to the GIF website, GIF, whatever that is, GIFs, whatever you call those things, okay? And they have me putting on, 15 suits in 13 seconds or something like that. One of those crazy, looks like an old time movie. So that's it on taxes. It's important. And getting tax help. Okay, how do you find free tax help for your business? You go to America's, SBDC.org. If you're not a business, you call 311 where you are, look for a free tax help. You go to your local library, ask them about it. There's plenty of free tax help. You have a question, call the IRS. That's what I do, and I have videos I'll show you where I talk to them. How do you write off your apartment or something in business? And the person at the IRS who audits you and everything, they tell you what the law is, yeah, and it's free. You may have to wait a while, and this is a bad time to call, really. So call it weird hours, and just put on hold and do your work online until I pick up. Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, it's still going to save you a couple $100 going to some tax consultant, whatever. And another thing, I mean, what I use a lot too, or TurboTax and things like that. I mean, I think that's what, $50. I don't know if you use those, Tracy. I forget what they are now, or how much they charge, but they take you through. Most of us, that's all we need is TurboTax, and because they ask you the right questions. It's very, this is what artificial intelligence is all about. And they do it. Actually, they're the precursor of it. But that's the beginning of the process. So things like TurboTax, those kinds of things, are cheaper than you'll get at H&R Block and all these people. And one thing not to do is do not take a loan from any of these tax preparers. You're going to pay a fortune. It won't look like it to you, but you will. That's how they make lots of money at tax season. It is giving you a loan against the refund you're going to get. So just don't do it. It's just too expensive. And where do you go other places than that? Well, actually, one of the places you may look at some peer-to-peer loans, because they're not like these people, and you can shop around for interest rates and just call a banker, because they have a tax, you have a tax refund coming. The big corporate banks that like they are a little funky, but they're so greedy. You just have to be careful. I don't know who's bad, payday loan people or these big financial services company. And that's why the alternative ones are really a little more interesting to me. Go to a community development bank, a community bank. They're the ones that have the community in their heart, not the investors on Wall Street. That's what I deal with. People who worry about you and your neighbors, not giving the money to some fat cats with yachts on Wall Street. I mean, that's maybe a biased point of view, but yeah, it is true a little bit. I mean, everybody, I was thinking like the tax cut. Everybody's, they say, oh, we're going to have a tax cut. And everybody's going to, just be so rich because of the tax cut. Right away, you're richer if you were rich. And a lot of poor people are finding that they're paying more taxes. So that's why, and I think when we try to convince something to do what we want them to do, we take an inch of truth. Okay, yes, everybody's going to get a tax cut, but they don't say maybe and how much and all this kind of stuff, and how you also may get screwed. And it's really for some other thing that they really hide and don't tell you about. But that's life, isn't it? And it's going to continue no matter what. So stay tuned. And listen, if I don't answer your question, in a day or two, just go up to a new discussion and say, hey, Lesko, where the hell are you? I'm trying to get this question answered, okay? You're going to get lost in somewhere, and I understand that's how it works on Facebook. Somebody's talking about something and you put in something and then ask a question in that. Boy, sometimes it's hard for me to figure it out, but I'm going to figure it out. I got 20 more years to figure it out, okay? And also, okay, so you want to get a raffle ticket for this, you go to leskostore.com, www.leskostore.com. You want a free copy of my free book on getting out of credit card debt, personal debt, student loan debt, what's the other one? Mortgage debt, business debt, IRS debt, tax debt, all those things I cover in there. And actually, I'm selling it too, and it's selling very well. So I think this is a hot book. I haven't had one of those in a long time, so I'm hoping for this. And it takes work like everything else. There's no easy answer. Just a lot of work. So that's why you find something you want to do in life, and really that it's important for you to do. That gives you energy to keep doing it, because anything you're going to do is going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. you know, and it's going to be frustrating. And most things you try will fail. So that's why you got to do something. Either it's survival, if you're in that mode, or if it's not survival, it's more than that, then you have to get something bigger than you, I feel, to work on. So tell me the kinds of projects that you would love to do in life, you know, and I'll show you where potential sources of money and help are available for you to do those projects, you know, because if you really want to do something, then you're going to use yourself as much as you possibly can. The rest of us are going to get the best of you. If you're doing something you don't want to do every day, then we're not getting your best. You know, it's like having a mediocre relationship. Isn't it fun to love real hard? That's the key in life. I think, how hard can we love? And as you get older, you know, what's neat, that's one thing you could keep doing forever. You may not be able to run as fast, you may not be able to think as quick or anything like that, but you can love harder. You know, and I think that's what we can always work on. For the rest of our life, we can always improve it and get better. That's one muscle we could work on and still get better at it. You know, and it's a wonderful thing to try to do, right? I guess. It's sometimes real hard to try, though. So that's why we have to encourage each other to do it. Okay, so I'll see you soon, and let me know when I screw up. Oh, I love figuring that out. Thanks again.